Hi guys, and welcome to this new video. In this video we are going to do other weird experiments with something else. This time with something else. So if you have seen the other videos I made with that toy keyboard, that cheap €8 toy keyboard, this time we are not talking about it, but I'm here with a talking calculator that doesn't work properly. Because the speaker maybe is broken. Maybe the speaker broke. I don't know what happened to it. I took it apart 2 or 3 times, but the speaker seemed in good shape, but actually it doesn't work properly. And what should we do with something that doesn't work properly? We are not going to throw it away, obviously, because this calculator in particular was part of my childhood, we can say. I used it a lot in primary school, and I was 6 years old when a teacher, an assistant, gave it to me. And so one of my assistant teachers gave it to me when I started primary school, as I said, and this has some features that other calculators don't have. In fact, it has a clock, a date setting, and the most important of all, tunes. It has a music mode. You can't play notes, but it has some tunes that you can set as an alarm. And this was the most nostalgic part, the most nostalgic aspect of this calculator that isn't working correctly. And today I'm going to do something that you didn't know, guys. I'm going to let you know that you can still listen to the sounds it makes by using an AM radio or even a pickup coil. Since I don't have a pickup coil, I'm going to use an AM radio. Because basically pickup coils don't pick up sounds, but they pick electrical signals before they go to the speaker. For example, in this case, it picks up the sound signal coming from the sound chip inside this calculator before it goes to the speaker. So you don't need a working speaker in order to hear if it still works or not. And this was the case with this calculator. So first of all, we need something with an AM radio, and I'm going to use an old Panasonic Walkman that I still use today. Yeah, because I still use cassette tapes, as I said in some videos before. Maybe you already know it. So I connected a pair of headphones that act as an antenna or a speaker in this case, because for AM you don't need an antenna, only for FM. So I'm going to turn on the AM radio setting here, and what we are hearing are some electrical signals or interferences that this thing is picking up. Maybe it's picking up an interference from the computer or something else. Maybe it's the computer, yeah. And we have to tune it until we don't hear those interferences anymore. So now I'm going to pick my calculator. Then I need to put batteries. I took down the volume and put it next to the Walkman, next to the back of the Walkman. Now I'm going to put batteries. So as soon as you put batteries, it starts ringing. The alarm starts ringing, starts playing, because as I said, it has a clock. So this thing that we are hearing is the beeping of the alarm. So I'm going to tune it better, so you could still hear the calculator's voice. Okay, now it works. So if I enter the music mode, for example, okay, and play song, for example this, you should be able to hear something. For this I'm going to speed up because you can even speed up. And change the pitch. Let's try something else, the time thing. So this thing is saying that it's 12:01 a.m. but it isn't. I still don't know how to set the time on this thing. So let's try the numbers. So it speaks in Italian, so numbers. Okay, something you can hear something. So that's how pickup coils work. They act almost like an AM radio. Another tune, for example, this. See, it works. So if I used a pickup coil instead of AM radio, I should have been able to listen to all the songs in HD without all these interferences that the AM radio is picking up. So this was my experiment, and I love that this thing still works. I thought that the sound chip was dead, and instead it still works. It still works great. So I have to investigate if the speaker is really broken or I have to replace it with something else. I have a replacement speaker, but I still don't know what happened to the original one. And as I said, I took it apart maybe twice, and the speaker seemed in good shape, but I'm sure it really isn't because it's broken. I can't hear anything from here, from the speaker or here. So that's why I made this experiment, and I'm surprised that it worked. So even if you have a toy with a broken speaker and you just want to see if it works, you can use an AM radio or your pickup coil if you have one, and archive it in HD even without a speaker working. So that was it. That was my weird experiment today. So this should be a part 3 of my weird experiments with these musical things that I have. So that was it. Thanks for listening or watching, and stay tuned for next videos. So please like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends or toy collectors in general. And see you in the next one. Bye.